Thank you, Dave. And yes, it is a very appetizing match. We can't decide in the booth who we think might have the edge here, because two very good wins in week one. And then we see Dave Chisnall last week beat Thornton 7-5. And next week we'll face Van Gerwen. So I'd like to get some more points tonight.
Two debutants, both getting off to winning starts. As John said, they're playing each other. Now, having points already in the bank, as Wes Newton just said, it makes you relax. So I think that these two just going to go at it and play their normal game. Now, their normal game is, for Chisnall, big scores. Whereas Peter Wright is more of a finisher. Expect the 180s to come from Chizzy. Expect the more consistent, steady scoring from Peter Wright.
Well, that's right. Peter Wright, his scoring method is, it's more like a finishing action. Very deliberate motion in the arm, aiming fully at the treble, as if he's going for a double. Whereas most dart players are more fluent on the scoring stage, much like Dave Chisnall, and most dart players wish they were as fluent as Dave Chisnall.
Well, that first dart from Dave, he would have said a 180 would have come very, very soon indeed. Then Wayward, then in. These two played each other a few times. Chizzy has the upper hand. He's beaten Peter Wright in a few tour finals, so they're big matches in themselves.
140.
They were all last year, so it's kind of current form. But the thing is, John, on the biggest stages of them all, it completely changes, doesn't it? It's like a different game up on this stage rather than a tour event.
43.
Well, it certainly is important, and it's in your mind. You want to prove yourself, but I think they realize, you know, they have to play their best tonight. I think they're both right up for playing a game of darts. I think the rest of the world watching does not matter to them tonight. I think it's about outdoing each other.
Which is the way it should be. Peter Wright starting quite beautifully. Chizzy, one good, one bad. We know how dangerous this man can be.
140.
On his day, he really is the real deal. Peter Wright just come off the back of that World Championship runner-up. What a performance he's been putting in over the last 18 months. The rise and rise of Peter Wright.
95.
Oh, a very good third dart there to put some pressure on Chisnall's throw. He has no finish. And we know Peter Wright likes his finishing, so already some questions
93.
for Chizzy.
Peter require 126.
Treble 19 will want to go below if he does miss. Well, that's a good marker. We'll build in off that. Unlucky, he leaves 88.
Yeah, you were quite right on that one, Wayne, but just not quite enough on the
58.
adjustment.
Peter require
So right, indeed. Treble 18 or treble 20. Now, could go for a 10. That leaves tops for the first leg.
84.
Pulled it.
Peter requires 68.
It's a good example of, like, the finishing style of throwing is much slower and deliberate for just about everybody. Peter does it all the time, and he will be doing it now as he goes for treble 13. One chance for Bull. Really made a mess of a break opportunity.
Peter required 20.
Yeah, when you do want a two-darter like 68, to only have one darter bullseye, you feel like you've let yourself down. Double five.
And over the 6 darts as well, but he's got off the hook to get another chance at the break.
Peter required 25.
Poor from Chizzy. He will be annoyed with himself. He'll be livid if he loses this leg. Slightly inside of that.
17.
Early nerves, John.
Peter required 2.
Yes, it is. They're having a little laugh at themselves. They have to get past it. Double 1. It's a good one to work from.
No score.
I think the way the first two were sitting were in a good place, but they were kind of askew, and it messes up your aiming system. It was always going to be a hard third dart. It's double 2 for Wright. Still a break chance. Double 1.
Peter Wright hit what Dave Chisnall couldn't, and that was the madhouse.
The only thing I kind of knew for sure about that last dart was Peter was not going to turn around and ask the crowd for some help there. It was nervy enough already.
And when he tries to G them up, he said he's going to do it every week, John, didn't he?
Yeah, that's what we were talking about earlier. We're looking forward to that. We love it.
177.
Well, Peter Wright is scoring. It's been fantastic. The first leg was 2-1-40s and a 95. He's already kicked off with a 177. But the finishing,
96.
not good at all. But a break is a break. And now, well, he started off with 3 perfect darts. Good switch. I call it a switch because the first one was so far away.
Well, since he has a break in the bank, Peter Wright, what he's trying to do now on the throw is just never give Dave a chance at a break opportunity. Not even let him get near a double.
100.
And psychologically, that is a very powerful tool once you already have a break yourself.
You've got to be aggressive. There's no point in thinking, right, I'll ride this leg out and go 2-0 up when you've broken. See Peter Wright there?
100.
The Scottish flight, born in West Lothian, but lives in Norfolk now. He's done for about 30-odd years. 43 years of age now.
PG require 144.
Yeah, if you can get these finishes and leave the guy at 249, it's really discouraging. Needs another treble 20 to leave double 12. Not there, so treble 16 would leave double 8. That's the area board he likes to be in. 48 left, he'll be quite happy there.
201 in front. Well, that was snatchy. Brilliant cover shooting from Dave Chisnall. But John doesn't really kind of make a dent, does it?
Well, it's just to let Peter know if he misses, that he would have a chance. But 32, as we know, is Peter's favorite of the last few months.
Is it? Well, that was unlucky. There you see, just glancing off the outside of the dart in the 60.
Well, it was like when the 2 darts were above the double 1. When the 2 flights are in different directions, sometimes you get those crazy little double deflections.
95.
It can skew off, can't it?
Yeah, ideally you want your first 2 darts to have the same angle in the board, and then you can really use them effectively. But it's sort of a wild card in that situation.
100.
Peter, with his garish gear on. Actually, he looks a bit sedate tonight when you just look at him like that. It's like he hasn't even made an effort. Come on, man, liven up.
60.
Then you see his strides, they're fantastic, those. I wonder what they'd look like in 36, 31 leg. No, 31 waist, sorry, 36 leg. I'm getting all mixed up now, John.
Well, it's Wright that's way behind in this leg. Can't, even with a 180, get to a finish. So Chizzy coming up with a leg that he really needs at this point when he doesn't have one. Very important to get this out.
7 darts at a double from Chizzy. Every one of them's missed.
Yeah, that was all in the first leg. He didn't get a chance against the throw, did he? And I think that's the Wright's game plan now. Just smother his own throw and he'll get 2 points.
So simple, John. I wonder if it'll work out like that.
38.
Well, if he keeps trying like that, it might.
Dave required 24.
Dave just got a bonus turn if he needs it, because no finish for Wright. He doesn't even need a bonus dart.
Good leg.
Peter to
that'll make him feel better.
Game on.
Come on, he's saying. Peter Wright is leading 2-1, but to me,
64.
This is as bad as I've seen him play in the last 18 months. Looks unsettled, looks slightly nervy to me. You cannot stay there, Dave.
59.
As we witnessed in our first match with Newton and Barneveld, you can get some twists and turns even though it's a relatively short format. And, you know, with the stakes
96.
that are at work here in the Premier League and how important it is, the nerves do play.
Well, both
45.
are struggling, and you mentioned it in the first match, John, where you kind of wait for each other. One person playing bad, you're thinking, right, they're going to kick in a minute, so you kind of retreat, and you shouldn't.
But you pressure yourself where you shouldn't be to take advantage.
59.
It should just happen naturally. You should just be pounding the board, play the board. Show the audience a 12 dart leg. That's what you should be thinking when the other guy's struggling, instead of I need to take advantage because he's struggling.
Well, at the very start of this match,
22.
before they'd actually thrown a dart during their practice darts, I said that Chisnall would be doing all the scoring and Peter Wright the finishing. Peter Wright is averaging 29 on the finishes, and Dave Chisnall
60.
has only had 140. How wrong can you be? They will settle down. They've got to settle down. And there we see it. Not pretty reading for
66.
either.
Well, I have to say, Peter Wright will be very content that he's been under absolutely zero stress on his own throw in this match. Even with wayward darts.
But saying that, John, when you're playing as poorly as Peter Wright, can you ever
81.
feel confident? Can you ever feel that happy? Because his performances have been so spectacular over the last last 18 months, that playing like this will not make him happy
95.
at all.
Peter, you require 100.
As an artist, no. But as a competitor, he does know he can kick in when he needs to.
Well, you've heard it. John Part only tried when he had to. 3 world titles
100.
later, I suppose that's easy to say.
Well, there's something about needs that brings the best out at times of everybody.
140.
Yeah, that's right. Focuses the mind. There's
Peter, you require
no
41.
doubt. 9. 32.
Dave Shaw,
No
Reflect.
doubt
Peter
whatsoever.
Reflect Dave to throw first.
And you have to say, aside from that first leg,
90.
which the Wright won, his finishing has been pretty good. His doubles have been very good where he wants them.
Yeah, whenever he leaves 32, he does seem very likely, doesn't he?
97.
Big leg for Chizzy. Got to win it. Don't want to be broken again, that's for sure.
100.
Yeah, his last leg, he managed to completely dominate it on his throw, Chizzy. So a little more pressure from Wright on this occasion. At least keeping stride. At least in past.
140.
Keeps him a dart in front.
100.
Chizzy looks a bit tight, doesn't he? There's not a fluency to his action.
Well, he's working hard, though. He's under pressure. He's getting a treble to turn, and sometimes that's just enough to keep you
81.
in with some chances and to turn things around.
Peter Wright hitting a 1 last dart, that helped. Treble 17. Well,
122.
that will not please him at all.
The 2 the last start, but 89. Quite a nice finish for us pros. 57, you slide over the 32, exactly the same height.
99.
Pressure's
Peter
on.
require 89.
Biggest shot of the match so far. 20 or treble 20. Well, that to me seemed rushed. John, that seemed rushed.
Well rushed and sloppy. You know, any 20, double, treble, or single, and he's still got a shot.
49. Peter, you require 84.
But a huge visit. Treble 20 now. This is for a 4-1 lead. Double 12 for 4-1. He won't be turning around, geeing up the crowd now, I'll tell you.
78.
I tell you, maybe he needed that
Peter,
at
you
that
require
moment.
40.
If you're going to roll the dice, roll them.
Oh, you gambler, you.
Well, he didn't hit it, did he? So could have worked. Might have helped. It's double top, and we like Chizzy for that. You gotta say it's gonna go in. No,
Nice
somehow
one.
it stays out. I'm dead surprised by that.
Well, that was just not his fault, was it? The last dart, Chizzy missed, but that wasn't his fault. went to coming off the barrel, hit the barrel, and it goes sideways. Averaging 82. Incredibly, Peter Wright is leading this match by 3 legs.
Well,
100.
you have to look at finishing in this match, and it's destroyed the averages, and it's destroyed Chisnall. 1 of 11 on double. How can you expect anything but to lose?
98.
Exactly. You see him trying to G himself up.
And, you know, in criticism of how his doubles have gone tonight, we can't overlook that Chizzy really hasn't scored as he can as well. So it's that added pressure when he gets to the double.
Yeah, when you are a scorer, which is what Dave Chisnall is known for, and you're slightly off, the pressure mounts. Well, you see that snatch there. When he's throwing too slow, that's what can happen. Cannot do that, and he knows that. That's the annoying thing for Chizzy and his army of fans. Got to throw at your rhythm.
83.
Really is hard work at the moment.
43.
That's getting more and more difficult to imagine some sort of fight back from Chizzy, despite the fact that Pete struggled a fair bit on the scores himself.
100.
Well, this could be the most annoying thing for Dave Chisnall. The fact that he's played so poorly. Yes, the doubles have been the common denominator in why he's 4-1 down.
158.
But Peter Wright has been there for the taking. Treble 20. Oh, we'll stay there. Treble 18 now to leave 24. Brilliant.
134.
Well, yeah, and another Peter Wright started leg where Chizzy doesn't even look to get a shot for a double. Just has done nothing against throw. That doesn't help your chances either, really, does it? Even with the 140 to pressure. Double 12 for Pete Wright. It's another one he likes really most times. He's pulled it again though.
Yeah.
Maybe a chance for Chizzy. No.
Yeah, he soon quelled his enthusiasm if he thought he had any to have another throw. Well, this pushing, snatching.
That is laughable when you're struggling like that, and just those darts. What a punishment to get 18 points out of those 2 darts. It's a crime.
We've all been there, John. We've all had a nightmare on a big stage. What can Chisnall do? Is there a point where he's thinking, right, I don't care now, I've got to relax and try to get something going? Has he come to that point yet?
45.
Well, he just sort of has to try and imagine some scenario of comeback and let himself enjoy trying to come back rather than stress about it. I think that's when I've had my most success coming back in matches, is when I sort of fantasized about this magnificent comeback. And lo and behold, I either did it or I got close. But if you didn't enjoy the thought of it and you didn't relish the challenge, it rarely will happen.
31.
Peter Wright is doing his best to help Chizzy in this leg. This will make him feel better.
120.
And then goes back to Snatchy Dave.
Well, as far as head as he is in the leg, really he needs to get rid of the mopey attitude on the 3rd one missing there. Just get a little more aggressive and happy with the shot overall and the position overall, because he's in a good position inside the leg. That treble one did not cost him anything.
And coming up, Harry Anderson, Premier League champ back in 2011. And Simon Whitlock, the beer to be feared. And there we have that. Adrian Lewis versus Phil Taylor. What a night of darts. And last on, Bolton versus MVG, current Premier League champ and world champ. But that was a good last start, because Dave will be coming to the board next time to have 3 at a double rather than just the 2. That will make him feel better.
And a decent leg from Chizzy, so
133.
Peter Wright better make sure he gets a solid leg himself
32.
in this next one. That's if Dave can get this double 16. Yes, there's a relief.
Yeah, that'll make him feel a hell of a lot better, it really will.
Game on.
Clinical, no fuss.
Although he's up 5-2, it's pretty crucial that Peter gets a good opening here, because Dave might just get some momentum.
80.
Yeah, quite right, huge leg. If Peter Wright wins this, he'll be guaranteed a point.
A perfect first start, and a second to follow, and a third. Well, it's not too late, Dave. Don't say, why am I hitting him now? You're still in this. You can still get 2 points. Look at Wes Newton in the first match with Barneveld, down 5-3, came back to take 2.
Indeed, never ever too late.
140.
And when you are as good as Chizzy, you can rattle those legs off. Quick fire time. Good second dart. Brilliant.
That could have been the best thing for him, that 5, the first dart, because it got him away from getting distracted by a 9-darter inside the match. Now he can concentrate on getting the break he so desperately needs.
60.
Looking for a 140, 180. Got to get a treble from there.
100.
Oh, great third dart. Gives himself a very realistic chance at a break. You're right, digging in for a 180. Say not so fast. Even the 140 does that.
That kind of hurts, that 140.
96.
Dave knows that this is a must. He loves double 18. He doesn't miss this. Come on, Dave.
60.
Well, the upper doubles have not
81.
been good to him. He's been high on his upper doubles. He didn't really have much choice which double to go for, and as you say, he likes that double most times, but it's 12 for Bull for Pete Wright. Is it a 10 to leave tops?
Cannot imagine Dave Chisnall missing this again. The first 2 darts he threw at John, they were well thrown, just didn't go in. Do not go inside, he's saying to himself. Do not go inside. That is a darting disaster.
80.
You cannot go inside on double 18.
Well, I don't know, second dart's not so bad, because who cares if you bust on a 9 on the third dart, but yeah, it is ugly to look at when you're approaching it. Double top. Is it time for a crowd look? Double 10.
20.
I think he's really missing out on the crowd look opportunities. We have a very boisterous Bournemouth audience here, and I think that might have worked.
I actually think he feels under pressure, I really do. I don't think he's got that confidence about him this week, Peter Wright. That is a quality dart from Chizzy. That was not easy. The first dart was a blocker.
9 flag, Dave to throw.
And he got a piece of that dart as well, didn't he? So finally a little bit of luck for Chizzy. Things can even out sometimes. They don't always, but they can.
Well, he threw the dart with enough force, didn't he, to go through the flight, which was good. Has this match changed? Chizzy, has he changed? Has his confidence grown? Second 180. The man from St Helens. Follow it, my man, follow it!
140.
Well, he threw the first 2 with quite a good pace, much like Chizzy, and then he paused on the third one. You get the feeling, like you said, throw it, just keep throwing.
Oh, hello! Oh, hello! Not a bad leg of darts, this. Not a bad leg at all. 141 points, John.
They require 141.
Well, he needs a treble 20, and he won't do it. A great effort, though, and he's getting all momentum. A humorous boo from the audience. He doesn't care. He's very close to being one leg back.
And it's the manner in which he's upped his game. Played excellent in the previous leg,
55.
and this has been sublime stuff.
They require
Bullseye for
82.
32 to trail by one leg. There's the ball. There's a 32. 11 dart leg. Chisnall 4. Wright 5.
Well, that must have Peter Wright concerned to see how Chizzy's playing in front of him. Absolute confidence now.
60.
Even though he's behind John, he's got that mental momentum, hasn't he?
Well, he's got every sort of momentum at this point. Mental, actual,
61.
probable future.
And after the 60 from Peter Wright, quite a poor response from Chizzy. These are nervy darts.
42.
The confidence is not there.
But you think he's thinking in the back of his head, I was up 5-1, was it? And then I can actually not get a point, maybe.
Chizzy has responded like Peter Wright hasn't. Even though Peter Wright was leading, he wasn't throwing like someone that should have been leading 5-2. Does that make sense? He wasn't playing the darts that he would have hoped.
Well, you know one thing, it's just the prospect of perhaps even losing this match is going to be making Peter Wright feel a little bit sick.
140.
The rhythm that Chizzy now has, it's like a different player to the first 4-5 legs. Starting on 19s, looking to leave minimum 170. It's a great second dart.
133.
To leave a nice 1-3-2 finish, but at 120 finish, much nicer. Shanghai. Well, his old friend Treble One has come back to say hello.
Yeah, that's annoying. That may have felt like a good dart to Dave. Well, that certainly didn't. Well, that.
23.
Well, this is the sort of opportunity Peter Wright can absolutely pounce on. He'll be going for bulls, or 25 will keep him alive. So treble 19 to leave the bull. Oh, this would hurt. Bullseye. You don't get much closer.
Nowhere near it, John.
Maybe require 97.
For a level game. Doesn't want to take his time too long. You can't lose that rhythm, that momentum that he's got. It's got to be double 18 tops. Well, I think he's made an error there. Double 18. Bigger, it's a bigger target.
And we know Pete will go for double 8 after a 9. Loves that corner of the board, double 8. Not much help from that dart, a little too far away, but does it anyway. Brilliant concentration under pressure. Guarantees himself 1 point. That will be a relief for him.
Minimum 3 points after 2 weeks. Unbeaten after 2 weeks.
Well, I mean, he had that horror story playing in the back of his head where he was getting no points tonight for a little bit there, the way Chizzy was playing. Well, I think he'd like to capitalize on 2
91
points by breaking in this leg. He sort of has the momentum stopped for Chisnall, so the best time to win this match is now for Peter Wright.
100.
Yeah, I'm thinking that last start of double 8 may have just stopped Chizzy in his tracks. You're right there, John. Looking for another. Moving over, hunting it down.
100.
It's just a bit loose. Chizzy's at 4 180s. Will not be going for another, I don't think.
Oh,
174.
well called and well executed by Chizzy. Of course, the single would have left him the 170, whereas a 20 would have left a no finish. That's why we knew that was happening.
60.
Treble 20 needed.
134.
Well, he's kind of blocked that. He did indeed.
78.
No damage done.
Well, he'll get at least a dart for his tops, you figure. Out under some Peter Wright pressure.
140. Davey require 56.
Should be 16 tops. Tops. 10s now. Good last dart.
Dave Chisnall.
It's important just to
From
get the leg
Peter
one.
to throw first.
No dramas.
Game on.
Now this leg, the all-important leg. If Peter Wright wins it, 2 points. Chizzy wins it, a point apiece.
And with some of the form
100.
that we saw from Chizzy and you know, the one chance at the 9-darter and perhaps another, and it would be really a shame for him not to get a point out of this, but he's going to have to really earn it.
96.
Nothing's being given away for free here by Peter Wright, guaranteed.
Yeah, you wouldn't be surprised if Chizzy just cranked it up with 180 back-to-back and won the leg, but you also wouldn't be surprised if Dave put in a
43.
mediocre leg. That is a mediocre score that Chizzy has to punish. Has to.
That was quite surprising from Wright. Just didn't get that second dart in with
81.
alongside the dart. He sort of hit the flight down, and he gave up on the third dart, it looked like. Yeah, so little nerves, little tension still.
He looked like he slowed up to me, trying to put them in rather than use his fluency.
42.
Oh, the nerves! You can't beat watching two professionals get the old pub nerves, John. That's what it's like for up and down the country, winning a point for your team.
Yeah, it's one leg for 1 point, essentially is what it is. So
140.
they each have the same thing to lose and the same thing to gain.
Five, 1 up.
100.
All gone wrong, or has it? You've got to say, from now, Chizzy should rack up that point. Brilliant. Majestic, magnificent.
34.
Last 6 darts gone, 140, 134.
Fantastic stuff, and he needed to do that. He needed to earn the leg, and that's what he's doing. Maybe 140 to leave 76 might earn him a chance, but I think Chizzy looks pretty cool
100.
now.
Davey
He's got his
require
get out of
50.
jail free card.
10 for tops. 4 a point apiece. Dave Chisnall, from what looked like a desperate situation, pulls out a point against Peter Wright. After 2 weeks, both players are on 3 points, unbeaten. Coming next, we have Gary Anderson, the 2011 champ, versus the fear to be feared, Simon